Hi, boys and girls, it's Mrs. Smiley. I thought we'd have a little fun with science today. So my son Sam is a scientist. And he has some fun toys. They're not really toys, but they're science things that I wanted to show you. And I thought we could just have a little fun looking at them and then maybe learn a few things about them. The first thing I wanted to show you, what did we call this, Sam? It's called a plasma ball. And the bottom of it is just black plastic, and the top of it is a glass ball or a sphere. That's one of our 3D shapes that we've talked about. And inside the bottom is just a plastic piece on the bottom, like a toy, is a battery. And the battery has this electricity in it, an electric current, and it's sending the electricity up. And I don't know if you can see inside of the glass ball, there's like a little stick that sticks up inside there, and the electricity is coming up through that stick, and it wants to go somewhere. So it wants to go someplace, like lightning wants to go someplace, and that's electricity. So it might hit a basketball pole or something, go down to the ground, or the electricity could even hit a house or a tree and go all the way down the tree to the ground, but it wants to travel. So the electricity is coming up through that little pole, and inside of this ball, it's filled with a gas, and it's going through the gas, and it wants to get someplace, so it wants to get to my finger. So watch when I put more than one finger on there. It's trying to get to all my different fingers, so it wants to get out. It wants to go someplace. Now watch when I put my whole hand on there. Can you see it? Now watch what happens when I let go. Isn't that neat? It's bouncing around. It's trying to figure out, how do I get out of here? How do I go someplace? So here it is following my finger. Now watch, I'm going to pull my finger down, and it goes all the way over. See it? It's dancing around. So that electricity wants to go someplace. Now I'm going to put two fingers on. Can you see it? And I was just telling Sam a couple minutes ago, when I put my hands on it like this, and then I let go, I could feel like tingly in my fingers, like the electricity in there. So electricity can be a dangerous thing, but this is a little safe way of learning about it. And it's just, there's gas inside the ball, and so the ions in the gas, that's what the electricity is traveling through to get to my finger. So I just thought this was kind of a fun activity. When we come back to school, if we get to go back to school, hopefully sooner than later, I want to bring this and show it to you. It's breakable, but I think it would be really neat for you to get to hold it and to touch it and to watch the electrical current move in your finger. Is there anything else I should add about this, Sam? Oh, he said it's a neon gas. Yeah, so if you've ever seen a neon sign inside of a restaurant, that's how it works. It works. There's neon gas in here, and that's what they have inside the pretty little signs that say open. There's a neon gas in each letter, and that's what it travels through. So it kind of works the same way. But we thought it'd be cool to show it to you with the lights. Should we turn the big light off? We're going to turn the lights off, and then we'll turn the lights back on, and that way you can really see it good. So it's going to get dark just for a second, but I'm right here. Okay, can you see it? Now I'm going to take my hands off. See how it's looking for my hand? Okay, so I'm going to put my hand back on there. See how it's moving around? I'm moving my fingers right now. Can you see it moving? Now I'm going to put my whole hand on it. Okay, now I'm going to pull my hand off. See how it's looking for it? Pretty cool, huh? Now I've got one finger touching it, and I'm actually turning the whole globe around. Can you see the stick in the middle moving? And so that's me moving it with one finger. Now, what do you think is going to happen when I put two fingers? There you go. You were right. It has two currents moving, two lines of electricity. Isn't that neat? Kind of fun. One more time, I'll put my whole hand on it, and I'm going to take it off. There it goes. Pretty cool. Okay, you can turn it back on. Thanks, Sam. So we just thought that was something fun that you'd enjoy learning about. And what was that called again, Sammy? A gas sphere or plasma sphere? A plasma ball. Well, we know there's a ball is a sphere. Or a plasma bolt ball. So again, it was an electrical current that we were learning about. Now we have another fun toy science activity that I wanted to show you as well. So what's our next one, Sam? Yeah, this is cool. All right. Okay, Sam will take this one. Now this just looks like a little ball. It's a sphere, again. It's a sphere. But the neat thing about this is the electrical current. There's two little, there's a piece of metal here, and then there's another little piece of metal here. And so there's an electric current, and if it connects, the ball lights up, and it makes this really crazy noise. But if it doesn't connect, it goes off, okay? So you can even do this for two people. So Sam's gonna come. He's gonna help me. I'm gonna use his finger. So here here's my hand. I'm not touching. Sam's gonna touch it. And now watch. I'm gonna touch it. Nothing. But if I hold his hand, okay, we're to let go of hands. Pretty cool. He's just touching me. Touch my nose. Take it off. Is that crazy or what? Touch my nose again. Take it off. How cool is that? So that electrical current, touch my nose, Sammy, is going from the ball all the way through me, through my nose, all the way to Sam and back again. But if I take off my finger, it stops. But if we put, okay, now it goes back on. Okay, look at Sam. How cool is that? Pretty neat. So again, the electrical current, there's probably a little battery in here as well, Sammy. There's a battery and something making that light and noise for us to have fun with. But the current from the battery on this little piece of metal starts here, goes all the way around until it won't work unless I touch both places. So again, that's electricity. Electricity makes your lights turn on in your house. So again, electricity can be kind of dangerous, like in a wall, but it needs a path that it wants to follow. And I thought this was just a fun way for you to learn about electricity. We've got another fun toy to see. What was this called, Sam? Do you remember what this was? We don't have, Sam calls this a fun noisemaker. So, but it's just a fun way for you to learn about electricity too. And again, if I get to see you guys this year, you'll get to test all this stuff out. Hi boys and girls, I'm back. I wanted to show you another science toy or science little handheld experiment. This is very breakable, so it's very nice of Sam to let me borrow this one. He's trusting me. This is called a hand boiler, and there's liquid in here. And our hands, if you feel your hands, they probably feel nice and warm. Your body has heat and energy in it. And Sam wants me to point out. First, I should just show you what this looks like. I'll show you all the sides. So this is a sphere on the bottom. So it's very circular, and it's inside of it, which is air. So there's air, and there's this purple liquid in the bottom. And then there's a little tube, and the tube, as I hold my hand on here, my hand's going to make this water warm. Do you see how it went up? See the tube? There's this pretty glass tube. Oh, it's boiling. And then it goes all the way up, and there's another little sphere in the top. So what's happening is the heat of my hand made the air expand. So there's molecules in there. We've drawn that on the board before at school. So all the little molecules were close together, but when they got warmed up, they would, and they spread out. And that forced that water to boil and to come all the way up here to the top. Okay, now look, all the water's on the top. What do you think is going to happen? Make a prediction if I put my hand on the top. Remember, my hand is warm. Watch what happens. That the hot heat from my hand heated up the air that's in this little sphere and pushed all that water down to the bottom. And it's bubbling. It's going to get hot. Can you see it going around? It's trying to get down here. Now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to put my hand down here. And what's going to happen when I put my nice warm hand? And my hand, I didn't do anything to make my hands warm. They're just the normal temperature. But your body has heat and energy. So when I grab the bottom, I could grab it so you can still see it. You want to do it, Sam? Okay, Sam said he wants to do it. Here, hold on. He has his big hands here. Okay, now watch Sammy. Go ahead, Sam. He's got his hand on the bottom. He's putting it on the bottom. Okay, a little higher, Sam. Up there it goes. All the way to the top, and it's filling up. So all the air that was down here on the bottom, what's boiling now? See it bubbling? All the air got warm from his hands, and all the little air molecules went and spread out, and they pushed all of that water up through the tube up to the top. So all the colored water is up here now. But if he wants to switch this and he wants the water to go back down, he grabs the top, that little sphere on the top, a little higher, Sam's. There you go. I don't want to touch it because my hands will be warm too, and it pushed, the air got spread out on top and pushed all the water down to the bottom. So this is called a hand boiler. If you've ever seen mommy make macaroni and cheese at home, the water gets so hot that it boils. It could burn you. This isn't anything hot really to touch. It's more about the air spreading out, the molecules in there pushing that air. It spreads out and it pushes it all up to the top. So it might be a little bit, you have to really think big thoughts to be able to do this. It's a little bit different for us. But we have talked about air moving and how hot air rises when we talk about storms and weather. This is a little different. The hot air, the heat is coming from our hand. So we made this air hot. Oh, we'll have to do that experiment later. Sam said, take a balloon and then put it in the freezer and see what happens to it. He said, what's going to happen is the air that was in there was all spread out, but when you put it in the freezer, the balloon's going to go and it's going to shrink because the air molecules get all close together again. But if you take it out and it warms up, it's going to go and fill the balloon back up again. So that would be a fun experiment to try too. So I hope you enjoyed these fun little neat science toys that my son had for us to look at today. I just thought they were kind of cool and you'd have fun. And we wanted to bring them into school, but it didn't work out this time. But do you want to say hi to my son, Sam? Sam, come over here. This is my son, Sam, and he is a scientist. So he has degrees in chemistry and geology, and he has all kinds of cool ideas for me to do with you guys. So have a great day, and I will see you later.